It was back in the 80s that the NBA first broke through into the mainstream, and as a result, it became common to see A-list celebrities sitting in front row seats at games. In a lot of these cases, it was more about the celebrity in question just being seen in order to generate publicity for themselves and their respective projects. But there were also some genuine basketball fans amongst them who became synonymous with their respective teams, such as comedian and actor Billy Crystal for the Clippers, writer director Spike Lee for the Knicks, and actor Jack Nicholson for the Lakers.
It's amazing how many Academy Award-winning actors are wrong about Paul. From Laker fan number one.
Jack had better hops in his youth, but I love his passion.
In fact, Crystal, Spike, and Nicholson became so entwined with their respective teams' history that they were inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in October 2024 as superfans of the game. Another celebrity who seemed to genuinely appreciate the game of basketball was model Cindy Crawford. Even though she doesn't seem to be a fan of any specific team, she has been involved in the basketball community in one way or another ever since she became famous. Crawford's big break came when she appeared on the cover of the fashion and lifestyle magazine Vogue in August 1986 when she was 20 years old. A year later, Crawford appeared very briefly in the 1987 film The Secret of My Success, a vehicle for the then up-and-coming actor Michael J. Fox about a young man who finds a shortcut to success in the business world.
Hi, G.
From there, Crawford soon became one of the biggest and most sought-after models in the world. And for the rest of the 1980s and throughout the 90s, Crawford appeared on numerous magazine covers and in various commercials, video clips, and promos for a variety of products and companies.
Drench your hair in the look of health.
Over the years, Crawford has also been involved in a variety of ways with the NBA. Most notably, she appeared in a number of commercials for the league during the mid-90s as part of the I Love This Game promotion from the era.
I love this game.
But Crawford's involvement with the NBA dates further back than just the mid-90s. In May 1989, MTV launched the television series House of Style. The show focused on fashion, life within the modeling industry, and topics that impacted the community. Crawford was a host on the series, serving in the role from 1989 to 1997, appearing in a total of 46 episodes. During her time on the show, Crawford also collaborated with MTV on other projects, such as hosting various award shows and special one-off segments, one of which involved interviewing future Hall of Famer Shaquille O'Neal in 1993. Crawford and Shaq also collaborated on a number of other projects due to the fact that they were both spokespeople for Pepsi.
You notice anything kind of different about the girls this semester?
Yeah, they're all wearing that Pepsi stuff.
Huh. You notice anything different about the basketball team?
Pepsi stuff.
Also, in early 1994, Crawford and Shaq participated in a photo shoot and appeared on the first cover of the team magazine Mouth to Mouth. Later in 1996, Crawford interviewed another future Hall of Famer, Dennis Rodman, when he appeared on House of Style.
Why do you want to play your last NBA game in the nude?
If it's my last game, if I'm on a free throw line, then I can just take all my clothes off and walk away.
Later in 1997, Crawford got the chance to guest host NBC's Late Night Show Later, during which she interviewed yet another future Hall of Famer, Kobe Bryant.
Oh! Better than Shaquille O'Neal.
Given that Crawford has been so closely associated with the NBA over the years, there's always been tabloid speculation as to just how intimately familiar she was with the league, especially its players that she interacted with. And in May 2001, Shaq played into that speculation when he appeared on the radio station LA Power 106 FM, during which he claimed that he'd had affairs with Crawford, tennis star Venus Williams, and singer-actress Aaliyah. Tabloids jumped on the story, focusing on Crawford's name specifically because it was implied that the alleged affair took place during the mid-90s when Crawford was married to A-list celebrity actor Richard Gere.
You men can't have me because I'm married to Richard G.
For her part, Venus quickly, very publicly, disputed Shaq's claims while Crawford and Aaliyah remained silent. The representatives for both distanced themselves from the player's statement. Shaq soon apologized publicly after his mother confronted him over his comments, acknowledging that his original claims were untrue and that he had simply been joking. There had also been speculation that, following her interview back in 1997, Crawford may have had a relationship with Kobe, though that doesn't appear to be true either, despite the fact that they clearly had some chemistry together.
You have an unusual name, Kobe. And I know what it means, but maybe a lot of people don't.
Yeah, it means tender meat.
Tender meat? Tender young? Does it mean tender young meat?
But Crawford did actually briefly date Rodman, presumably around the time of the MTV interview. And in June 1996, after Game 3 of that year's finals between Rodman's team, the Bulls, and the Seattle Supersonics, Rodman gave Crawford his game-worn jersey.
And there she is, the lucky winner of the souvenir, or recipient of the souvenir, Dennis Rodman's road jersey.
Later in May 2020, Crawford honored both Rodman and his Hall of Fame teammate Michael Jordan with a post on Instagram when she recreated Jordan's iconic Jumpman logo while wearing Rodman's old jersey. The post was in reference to the documentary miniseries The Last Dance, which aired from mid-April to mid-May 2020 on Netflix, detailing Jordan's success in the 90s when he led the Bulls to 6 rings and 2 separate three-peats, first from 1991 to 1993, then again between 1996 and 1998. Given that the jersey belonged to both a Hall of Famer and a supermodel, it's inherently valuable, but there's another jersey that Crawford has that's arguably just as valuable and rare, her son's jersey. In the 2000s, Crawford quit modeling full-time and turned her attention to various business opportunities. Given her high profile, Crawford has also used her platform to promote various charities.
Cancer in the past was a death sentence, and there's been so much progress that it isn't anymore, but there's still more work to do.
And in December 2000, she teamed up with the Suns franchise, the now-defunct retail store, the Room Stores of Phoenix, and the charity Save the Family, who focused on helping homeless families make the transition to self-sufficiency. At the time, Room Store distinguished itself from its competitors by specializing in and retailing all the necessary furniture for an entire room rather than just selling individual pieces of furniture on their own. Back in 2005, Crawford had launched a line of furniture under the title the Cindy Crawford Home Collection. So, for the event with the Phoenix franchise, Crawford, the Suns, Room Store, and Save the Family all came together to give a family from Mesa enough furniture from Crawford's collection to furnish a room.
I got to meet the woman who's benefiting and meet her children and see them sitting on the sofa.
The event was organized with the help of fellow former model Laurel D'Antoni, wife of the then coach of the Suns, Mike D'Antoni. Following the giveaway, Laurel presented Crawford with an official customized Suns jersey. In addition to Rodman's Bulls jersey and Crawford's personalized one from the Suns, she may also have one of Shaq's from a photo shoot in the early 90s. In one image from the session that was used on an unofficial basketball card, Crawford is seen wearing a Shaq-sized road jersey with Orlando's team name airbrushed out for legal reasons. Whether the jersey was actually one of Shaq's or Crawford got to keep it if it was indeed authentic is unclear. But as of June 2025, both her Bulls and Suns jerseys appear to still be in Crawford's possession. Strangely, although you'd assume that the value of Crawford's Suns jersey would pale in comparison to her Rodman one, that's debatable. Because even though Rodman's jersey was game-worn, Crawford's one from Phoenix might be more inherently valuable for one very odd reason, as detailed by Rodman's former teammate John Sally. In the years following his 11-season NBA career from between 1986 and 2000, Sally has done numerous interviews speaking about his time in the league, which typically involve him recounting various unusual, humorous stories.
I told Phil I play every 5 games. One time he walked up, he said, "Are you taped?" I said, "Bro, this game 4."
Sally and Rodman both joined the NBA in 1986 when they were selected by the Pistons, Sally with the 11th pick of that year's draft and Rodman with the 27th. They remained teammates until Sally was traded to the Heat in September 1992. However, the two would later re-team when Sally signed with the Bulls in March 1996, first on a 10-day contract, then for the rest of the season. Understandably, given Rodman's eccentric personality, both on and off the court, and the fact that they played together for so long, many of Sally's wildest stories revolve around Rodman. Ultimately, it's that last season that Rodman and Sally spent together in Chicago for the 95-96 season that led to one of the weirdest Rodman stories out there. During his time with the Bulls, Rodman often made the point to give his game-worn jersey to someone in the crowd immediately after a contest. The lucky fan in question always greatly appreciated receiving the gift, but those jerseys might not be as valuable as people would assume because, in most of those cases, if not all of them, they weren't actually authentic NBA jerseys, as Sally detailed on the TFU podcast in August 2023.
Dennis Rodman would take his jersey off and throw it in the audience. And they started giving Dennis the not-so-official jersey.
Dennis was playing in the replicas?
That's why he threw the shit off. He was like, this shit is itchy.
Predictably, after Sally's revelation over Rodman's Bulls jerseys, there's been debate about the inherent value of them. Because even if they're just replicas, they were still game-worn by a Hall of Famer, which would instantly make them valuable, even more so than an authentic jersey that Rodman never put on. Ultimately, regardless of which of Crawford's jerseys is worth more monetarily, they're both inherently valuable in their own right. And if either one of them ever became available for purchase to the public, they'd have value to basketball fans. Even if one is possibly just a replica and the other, though authentic, is effectively just a novelty gift. Because both jerseys would have once belonged to two of the biggest icons of the 90s and Western pop culture in general. And while their respective impact on society extended far beyond just the NBA, they're dramatically different but equally impressive legacies are inextricably linked with the game of basketball.
We look good together, though.
Do we look good? I love this game.